1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
Some described it as a riot. Others described it as pure chaos. They rolled the trees with toilet paper, shot off fireworks, set off a bonfire. Hell, they even burned an effigy of the president, changed the campus entrance sign to Wake Forest Monastery. Over 1,000 Wake Forest students joined in unanimous protest, all for one cause: to be able to dance.
We're gonna rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight.
1, 2, 3, 4.
If you would, allow me to take you all the way back to November 20th, 1957. Wake Forest University was beautiful, and you better believe it was as white as ever. On this day, the good old Baptist State Convention of North Carolina banned a demoralizing, immoral, and sinful practice: dancing.
The Baptist State Convention wanted to unify the Baptists that were far-flung across a very rural and poor state. Once the campus moved, the Baptist State Convention became worried, and those ties began to loosen. The most worldly campus must have been ours here in Winston-Salem, because it was more urban. Sex and dancing were banned because sex looked so much like dancing.
At that point, the convention was contributing 10% to the college, and it was called, of course, the college at that time, and everybody else was putting in the 90%. So they were ruling.
Baptist situation was one that needed to be changed, and that really was a flashpoint that brought to light that maybe there needed to be some changes in the way these schools were governed.
As you would expect from any college-age person, they were not happy with this. Over 1,000 Wake Forest students took to the quad that night and danced their asses off. They made a statement by performing powerful dances like the bunny hop and the jitterbug. Keep in mind, it's the 50s, people, so they were rocking to such jams as Wake Up Little Susie and Whole Lotta Shakin' Going On. The next day at chapel, some of the students were bold enough to wear red D's on their sweaters as a symbol of defiance. And if you think they were done there, you would be sorely mistaken. Later that day, some of the students went to the Thruway Shopping Center chanting, "We want dance."
You know, we were always looking for something to do anyway, to have a good time and maybe to get in trouble along with it. And so we all went out on the quad and hooped and hollered. And back then there was a silly dance called the bunny hop. And so we all lined up, several hundred of us, with your hands on the hips to the person in front of you, and you know, you do the bunny hop, hopping along on one leg and then the other, and hop, hop, hop. And you know, the press just thought that was hilarious.
Most of the girls dressed in black skirts because we were not allowed to wear jeans or long pants or Bermudas or anything like that on campus. And we had cut the letter D out of red paper, and we pinned it over our hearts like the scarlet letter. We were dancing on the quad and just having a ball. Life magazine was there and took a picture, and it appeared in the magazine. And it was interesting because we were rebelling in our way against the Baptist Convention's ruling. One night after that, we had a panty raid. Now that was hilarious because the girls were throwing out panties. Now, oh my heavens, our house mothers nearly went into cardiac arrest over that. We thought it was fun.
As soon as chapel began at about 10 o'clock, an alarm clock went off in the back of the chapel. And as soon as that sound was heard, all 1,900 students, plus or minus, got up, left the chapel, walked through the plaza, went out to the patio of Renolda Hall. They opened up the door to the, I guess it was called the snack shop, then pulled a jukebox out, plugged it in, and started to dance.
You will have to choose whether you're going to serve God or whether you're going to serve the gods of materialism and secularism and the other gods of America.
I'll tell you something else that they have not published. I'm sure they're probably embarrassed to. We had Billy Graham speak to us one day, and it was a very inspirational speech. Everything was just so nice. We were in Whitechapel. All of a sudden, from above the balcony comes this humongous bra. It must have been a 52 triple D. And here we sat just going, oh, we can't believe this happened. And very quickly it was taken away. We never knew who did it. We had ideas, but we never knew for sure. You know, people between me, we just said, we're just going to sit here and say nothing. That's what we're going to do.
The dance protest was probably the beginning of Tribble's wonderful and growing relationship with the student body. They knew that he advocated for them at the Baptist State Convention, and he continued to do so.
Dr. Tribble was a wonderful person and a very serious theologian and leader of the school, and I totally agree. His hands were tied, really, and he handled it beautifully because there was no explosion, no real violence at all. You know, the campus police were always the nicest guys. I mean, we knew all of them, and they were very folksy, and they didn't care that we were having a good time and dancing, and they just thought it was funny. So it wasn't like there was a big crackdown on the students. As a matter of fact, I don't think the trustees knew what to think about what was going on at Wake Forest.
Though this paramount issue remained through the mid to early 60s, the uproar soon faded. It took 8 years in total until President James Ralph Scales quietly lifted the dancing ban from the school in 1967. During homecoming of that same year, the absolute jam of a group, Bob Collins and the Fabulous Five, set it off in Ronaldo Hall. All I ask of you kind people, the next time you're going crazy to house music in a frat basement, just remember, it didn't always used to be like this.
And as you were standing there, ruby lips and golden hair beside the jukebox, oh, the jukebox